"Pick anything you want," he said, until his daughter said, "We want that Apache woman as our mom." She had been the center of his world, not just as a loving partner but as the heart of their small family. When she was gone, John found himself facing a reality he had never imagined, raising two daughters entirely on his own. Emma, the elder at 8, had inherited her mother's gentle curiosity and lively spirit, while Lily, at 6, was spirited and imaginative, always asking questions about the world as if she wanted to understand it all at once. John loved them dearly, but he often felt overwhelmed. Balancing his full-time job with parenting responsibilities sometimes left him drained, and he wondered whether he was doing enough for them. Evenings were the hardest. The house, once filled with laughter and chatter, now echoed with a quietness that felt heavy. John would sit on the couch, glancing at photographs of his wife smiling with the girls, wishing for a way to bring back that warmth. He knew he could not replace her, nor would he ever try, but he wanted his daughters to feel complete. He wanted them to have someone to guide them, comfort them, and share in the little joys of life. He wanted them to feel the kind of love that every child deserved. One particular evening, after tucking the girls into bed, John lingered in the doorway, watching them drift off to sleep. Their small hands clutched their blankets tightly, faces relaxed in innocence. He felt a mixture of pride and sorrow. He had done his best so far, but he knew that something was missing. His wife's absence left a void not just for him, but for Emma and Lily as well. He decided then that he needed to do something extraordinary. The next morning, John called the girls to the living room. The sun streamed through the window, illuminating the cozy space where they usually gathered to read stories or play board games. "Girls," he began, his voice calm but firm, "I want to do something for you, something special. You can pick anything you want, anything at all." Emma and Lily exchanged glances, eyes wide with excitement. At first, John thought they would ask for toys, maybe a trip to the amusement park or a new pet. These were the usual requests of children their age, and he had prepared himself for the logistics, the money, the planning. But the girls surprised him. Instead of jumping up and down with excitement or listing things they had dreamed of for months, they sat quietly thinking. Then Emma the elder spoke softly but with conviction, "Daddy, we don't want toys. We don't want trips. We want someone to be our mom." John felt his chest tighten. He had known the girls missed their mother, but hearing their words so clearly, so bravely, struck him deeply. He looked at Lily, who nodded enthusiastically, her small face serious. "Yes, Daddy," she added, "we want that Apache woman we met at the community center. She's kind and funny, and she tells stories that make us happy. We want her to be our mom." The words hung in the air. John was stunned. He had never expected this. He had imagined picking out gifts, planning fun surprises, but never this. The girls weren't asking for something material. They were asking for love, care, and guidance, a mother figure to be part of their lives. The thought of another adult stepping into that role was daunting, but he also saw the sincerity in their eyes. Their hearts were open, trusting, and hopeful. The community center had been a place they often visited after school. It was a safe space where children could learn, play, and explore. It was also where they had met Yana, a gentle Apache woman who volunteered there. She had an aura of calmness and warmth that instantly drew people to her. The girls had been fascinated by the stories she told about her culture, her family, and the wisdom she carried. Yana had a way of making them feel seen and understood, something John had struggled to provide alone. John spent the rest of the day in quiet reflection. Could they really ask Ayana to become a part of their family? Would she accept? And most importantly, could he open his home to someone new without fear or hesitation? The questions swirled in his mind, but one thing was clear. The girls were earnest in their wish. Their desire was not fleeting or selfish. It came from a place of genuine need and love. That evening after dinner, John sat with Emma and Lily at the dining table. "Girls," he began carefully, "this is a big wish you're asking for. We need to think about it together. It's not something that will happen instantly, and we have to make sure everyone is comfortable. Are you sure this is what you want?" Emma nodded firmly, her eyes shining with determination. "Yes, Daddy, we want her to be with us. We want her to be part of our family. We love her." Lily echoed her sister's words, her small hand reaching across the table to hold John's. "Please, Daddy, we know she's special." John smiled, feeling a wave of emotion he could hardly contain. Their innocence and clarity touched him deeply. He realized that love could be found in the most unexpected places, and that family was not just defined by blood. Perhaps this was the chance to create something new, something beautiful, something that could heal all of them. The next morning, John decided to visit the community center. He wanted to speak to Ayanna directly, to understand her thoughts and feelings. Walking through the doors, he felt a mix of nervousness and hope. Ayanna was there, setting up activities for the children, her presence calm and radiant. She greeted him warmly, unaware of the heavy purpose of his visit. "Hello, John," she said, smiling. "The girls are wonderful as always. How can I help today?" John took a deep breath. "Ayanna, I need to talk to you about something important," he said carefully. He explained the girls' wish, their heartfelt request for her to become a mother figure in their lives. He spoke honestly about his own hopes and fears, about the bond they shared and the desire to create a complete family once more. Ayanna listened quietly, her expression thoughtful. She had grown fond of the girls, but this was a responsibility unlike any other. She needed to consider her own life, her commitments, and the emotional depth of such a decision. Still, as she looked at John, she could see the love in his eyes, the sincerity of the girl's wish, and the possibilities that lay ahead. Over the following days, John and Ayanna spent time talking, understanding each other's expectations and boundaries. Emma and Lily watched eagerly, their excitement growing with each meeting. They began to imagine a life where laughter, guidance, and love were shared among all of them. Their hope was contagious, spreading warmth into the home that had felt empty for too long. John realized that sometimes the most meaningful gifts are not toys or trips, but the presence of someone who truly cares. His daughters' wish was simple yet profound. They wanted love, support, and a guiding hand. And perhaps through this journey, they could all find healing, connection, and a renewed sense of family. That night, as he tucked the girls into bed, John felt a strange mix of anticipation and relief. He kissed their foreheads, whispering softly, "We'll figure this out together." Emma and Lily smiled, their small hands clutching his as they drifted off to sleep. In that moment, John knew that life was about to change in ways none of them could yet imagine. But he also knew that with love, courage, and an open heart, they could face anything together. The story of a father's hope, two daughters' heartfelt wish, and the journey to find a mother figure had begun. What started as a simple offer, "Pick anything you want," was now a path toward healing, love, and an unexpected bond that would shape their lives forever. The following days were filled with a mixture of excitement, curiosity, and quiet nervousness. Emma and Lily could hardly contain their joy whenever they spoke about Ayanna. They talked about her stories, her laughter, and the way she seemed to understand them without needing to ask questions. For them, she was already a part of their lives, even if she hadn't officially stepped into the role of a mother figure yet. John, on the other hand, felt a whirlwind of emotions. He wanted to honor his daughter's wishes, but he also worried about how such a significant change would affect everyone involved. He kept asking himself questions. Would Ayanna feel comfortable taking on the role of a mother figure? Could they all adjust to a new kind of family life? How would the girls respond if things didn't go as smoothly as they imagined? John realized that love alone might not be enough. Building trust and understanding would take time. One sunny afternoon, John decided to take the girls to the community center after school. He wanted them to spend time with Ayanna in a familiar setting, hoping it would ease the transition and allow the three of them to bond naturally. As they walked through the doors, Emma and Lily ran ahead, their faces lighting up as they saw Ayanna arranging books and craft materials on a table. She looked up, and her face broke into a warm, genuine smile. "Hello, girls," Ayanna greeted, crouching down to their level. "I'm so glad you're here. I have a few new stories to share with you today." Emma and Lily exchanged excited glances. "We have so many things to tell you," Emma exclaimed. "Daddy said we want you to be our mom." Lily nodded enthusiastically. "We really, really want that." Ayanna paused for a moment, her expression thoughtful. She had always loved the girls and admired their curiosity, intelligence, and kindness. But this request was different. It was big, serious, and carried a weight of responsibility she had not anticipated. She looked at John, who nodded gently, silently giving her space to process. "It's okay," John whispered. "Take your time." For the next hour, the girls engaged Ayanna with stories from school, drawings, and small crafts they had made just for her. She laughed at their jokes, praised their efforts, and shared stories from her own childhood, her family, and her Apache heritage. The girls listened intently, hanging on to every word. They were captivated by the way she spoke of respect, courage, and the beauty of the world around them. After the activities, they sat together for a quiet moment. Emma leaned against Ayanna's arm and asked softly, "Do you think you could be our mom?" Ayanna's eyes softened, and she sighed gently. "I care about you both very much," she said. "This is a very big decision. Becoming a mother figure is not something I can promise lightly. I need time to think about it and make sure I can do it the right way for all of us." The girls nodded, understanding that patience was necessary. John felt a mix of relief and pride. Their honesty, their openness, and their maturity amazed him. Even at their young ages, they understood that love and family were built over time, not instantly. Over the next few weeks, the girls continued spending time with Ayanna at the community center and during occasional outings with John. They explored parks, visited the library, and cooked simple meals together. Each activity allowed them to grow closer, creating shared memories and deepening their bond. Emma and Lily were constantly learning from Ayanna's stories, her gentle guidance, and her perspective on life. They began to see the world in new ways, appreciating the lessons hidden in everyday moments. John, too, observed a remarkable change in his daughters. Their smiles became brighter, their confidence grew, and the quiet sadness he had often noticed in them seemed to fade. It was as if the presence of Ayanna filled a void he hadn't been able to address on his own. Yet John remained cautious, aware that forming a new family structure required patience, respect, and understanding. He wanted to ensure that no one felt rushed or pressured. One day, as they sat on a bench outside the community center, Emma turned to Ayanna and asked, "Do you like being with us?" Ayanna smiled warmly, placing a hand gently on Emma's shoulder. "I do," she replied. "You both have wonderful hearts, and spending time with you makes me very happy. But we must remember that love and family are choices we make every day, not just words we say. I want to make sure I can be the best I can for both of you before taking such an important role." Emma and Lily nodded, showing maturity beyond their years. They understood that this was not just a simple request. It involved commitment, care, and respect for everyone's feelings. John, watching this interaction, felt a swell of hope and gratitude. His daughters' empathy and patience reflected the values he had always tried to instill in them. As days turned into weeks, John and Ayanna began to spend more time talking privately, discussing expectations, boundaries, and hopes for the future. Ayanna wanted to understand the dynamics of their family, John's parenting style, and the girls' personalities in greater depth. John, in turn, shared his worries, fears, and desires. They both recognized that building a new family required honesty, communication, and a willingness to embrace change. Emma and Lily, meanwhile, continued to play, learn, and explore with Ayanna. She taught them about nature, traditions, and the importance of kindness and respect. They shared simple joys, planting flowers in the garden, baking cookies, or simply sitting together reading stories. Each moment strengthened their bond, creating a foundation of trust and affection that would be essential in the days to come. One evening, as John prepared dinner, Emma and Lily sat at the table drawing pictures for Ayanna. "We want her to feel like she belongs with us," Emma said thoughtfully. "We'll do everything we can to make her happy, Daddy." John smiled, feeling proud and emotional. "You're both wonderful," he said, "and Ayanna is lucky to have you in her life, just as you're lucky to have her." The more time they spent together, the more natural their interactions became. The girls' excitement was balanced by patience, and Ayanna's careful consideration showed her commitment to doing the right thing. John saw hope blossoming in small moments, Emma proudly sharing her school achievements, Lily giggling uncontrollably at a story, and Ayanna responding with genuine warmth and guidance. One afternoon, during a quiet walk in the park, Ayanna stopped and looked at the girls. "I want you both to know something," she said softly. "Being part of a family is a big responsibility. It's about love, understanding, patience, and respect. I care for you very much, and I want to see if we can create a family together. But it will take time, and we must all learn from each other." Emma and Lily's eyes lit up. They understood that Ayanna's words were thoughtful and sincere. It wasn't just about them wanting her. It was about all of them choosing to be a family together, every day, in small, meaningful ways. John felt a profound sense of relief. He realized that the path to creating a family was not instantaneous. It was built on trust, love, and mutual respect. Watching Ayanna with his daughters, seeing their laughter, and witnessing their growing bond, he knew that they were on the right path. The journey had challenges, but it was filled with hope, connection, and the possibility of something truly special. By the end of part 2, John had come to a quiet understanding. His daughter's wish was not only about finding a mother figure, it was about building a family rooted in love, patience, and shared experiences. Ayanna, in turn, was beginning to see the depth of the girls' hearts and the sincerity of John's intentions. And Emma and Lily, with their open hearts and unwavering determination, were learning that love could grow slowly but powerfully, transforming lives in ways they had never imagined. The stage was now set for the next chapter of their lives, a chapter filled with challenges, lessons, and the gradual building of a bond that would define the meaning of family. Together, they were embarking on a journey that promised not only hope and love, but also the discovery of resilience, understanding, and the extraordinary power of human connection. As the days turned into weeks, the bond between Emma, Lily, and Ayanna continued to grow. They spent more time together, shared meals, and enjoyed small adventures. But with closeness came challenges that none of them had anticipated. Building a family was not as simple as spending a few happy afternoons together. It required patience, understanding, and compromise, a lesson they all had to learn in their own way. John had noticed that while the girls adored Ayanna, there were moments when their excitement and high energy clashed with her calm and structured approach. Emma, eager and curious, often asked endless questions, while Lily, full of imagination, sometimes created chaos unintentionally. Ayanna, gentle and understanding, tried her best to guide them, but there were moments of tension. It was not out of frustration, but simply because the adjustment to a new dynamic took time. One afternoon, John came home early from work to find Emma and Lily in the middle of a disagreement. Emma had taken the lead on a craft project, insisting that they follow her design exactly. Lily, on the other hand, wanted to add her own touches, creating a colorful mess that Emma did not appreciate. Gianna was sitting nearby, calmly trying to mediate, but the girl's emotions were running high. "Lily, you have to follow the plan," Emma exclaimed. "It won't look right if you change it." "But I like it my way," Lily protested. "It's more fun," Gianna gently intervened. "Girls, both of your ideas are wonderful. Emma, I understand that you want things a certain way, and Lily, I see your creativity shining through. Why don't we try combining both ideas?" The girls paused, considering her suggestion. Slowly, they began to compromise, merging Emma's careful design with Lily's creative touches. The final product was a vibrant mix of order and imagination. John, observing from the doorway, realized this was a small but significant lesson. Gianna was teaching the girls about cooperation, understanding, and respect, qualities that were essential in any family. But the challenges extended beyond daily activities. Cultural differences also played a role in the adjustment period. Gianna's Apache heritage brought unique customs, values, and traditions into their lives. While John admired her background and wanted his daughters to learn from it, he knew it would take patience for everyone to adapt. For example, mealtime rituals, storytelling styles, and even approaches to problem-solving sometimes differed from what the girls were used to. These differences, though enriching, occasionally caused confusion or hesitation. One weekend, Gianna invited the family to attend a local cultural event celebrating Apache traditions. John, Emma, and Lily were excited, eager to learn and participate. As they arrived, they saw traditional dances, heard songs in a language unfamiliar to them, and witnessed customs that were both beautiful and meaningful. Emma and Lily were fascinated, asking questions and trying to imitate the dances. John felt proud and inspired, but he also noticed moments of uncertainty. The girls stumbled over unfamiliar words, and John occasionally worried about whether they were truly understanding the significance of the traditions. After the event, they sat in the park, reflecting on their experience. Emma turned to Gianna. "I liked learning about your culture," she said. "It's different from what I know, but it's really interesting. I want to understand more." Lily nodded. "Me too. I like the songs and the stories. Can you teach us more at home?" Gianna smiled, feeling touched by their curiosity. "Of course. Learning about our heritage is important, and I'm happy to share it with you. But remember, it's also okay to ask questions and take time to understand. Culture is not just about following rules, it's about respect, appreciation, and connection." John listened quietly, realizing that this was a moment of growth not just for the girls, but for himself and Gianna as well. Blending their lives meant embracing differences, learning from one another, and finding harmony amidst diversity. Yet, not all challenges were external. Emotional hurdles surfaced as well. Emma, while excited about the prospect of a new mother figure, occasionally experienced guilt and confusion. She loved Gianna and wanted her in their family, but she also missed her biological mother deeply. Sometimes late at night, she would cry quietly, overwhelmed by a mix of grief and hope. Lily, younger and more straightforward, struggled to express her feelings in words, but John could see the tension in her behavior. The sudden bursts of energy or moments of clinginess were signs of her emotional processing. John did his best to comfort them. He reminded them that it was okay to feel sad or confused, and that loving someone new did not mean they were forgetting their mother. "Mom loved you both very much," he said gently one evening as he tucked them into bed. "And Gianna can help us keep her love alive while also giving us new love to share." Gianna also played a role in helping the girls navigate these emotions. She never tried to replace their mother. Instead, she offered support, guidance, and understanding. She encouraged open conversations, allowing the girls to express their feelings freely. Over time, Emma and Lily began to trust that it was possible to honor the past while embracing new possibilities. School life added another layer of challenge. Emma and Lily's friends were curious about the changes at home. Some asked questions, while others offered unsolicited opinions about whether it was normal to have a new mother figure. Emma, protective of her family, sometimes felt embarrassed or defensive, while Lily, ever curious, simply asked more questions. John and Ayanna navigated these moments carefully, teaching the girls to be proud of their family, embrace differences, and respond with kindness and confidence. Despite the challenges, there were countless moments of joy and connection that reminded them why they were on this journey. Weekend hikes, shared meals, bedtime stories, and simple games created a sense of belonging and security. Ayanna's presence gradually became a source of comfort and stability for the girls. Her laughter, gentle guidance, and unwavering patience helped ease tensions and build trust. One particularly memorable evening, they all gathered in the living room with blankets and pillows for a storytelling night. Ayanna shared a traditional Apache legend about courage and family, while Emma and Lily listened with wide eyes. John watched, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. The story sparked conversations about values, kindness, and resilience. The girls asked questions, and Ayanna answered thoughtfully, weaving lessons into the tale. In that moment, John realized that the challenges they faced were part of the journey. Each obstacle, disagreement, or misunderstanding was teaching them something valuable about patience, empathy, and love. Another challenge came from the practical aspects of blending lives. Household routines, responsibilities, and expectations had to be discussed openly. Ayanna wanted to contribute, but she also respected John's role as the father. John wanted to maintain balance, ensuring that the girls felt secure while also allowing Ayanna to participate naturally. They had long conversations about chores, bedtime routines, and personal space. These discussions, while sometimes tense, ultimately strengthened their communication and reinforced mutual respect. By the end of Part 3, the family had faced and overcome several challenges. They had learned that building a family was not about perfection. It was about effort, understanding, and willingness to grow together. Emma and Lily's excitement remained, but it was now tempered with patience and maturity. Ayanna's affection had deepened, balanced with thoughtful consideration of her role. John had grown more confident in navigating this complex journey, understanding that love and family required both guidance and flexibility. Through conflict, adaptation, and learning, they began to realize the true meaning of family. It was not just about shared spaces or shared blood. It was about trust, patience, understanding, and shared experiences. Each challenge they faced became an opportunity to strengthen their bond, to build resilience, and to deepen their connection. The journey was not always easy, but it was real, meaningful, and full of hope. The stage was now set for Part 4, where the emotional peak would arrive, where lessons learned, bonds strengthened, and love affirmed would transform them into a true, united family. The following weeks brought a sense of calm, but beneath the surface, important lessons were unfolding. Emma and Lily had begun to understand that love was not always instant or effortless. It grew through patience, trust, and shared experiences. Ayanna, too, had come to recognize the weight and beauty of the role she was stepping into. The quiet moments, small victories, and challenges they had faced together had created a foundation for something deeper, a family built not just on proximity, but on understanding and genuine affection. One rainy afternoon, the four of them gathered inside the living room. The girls were curled up on the couch with blankets, their eyes wide with anticipation as Ayanna read aloud from a book of Apache legends. John sat nearby, sipping tea and watching their expressions. He noticed how Emma and Lily leaned in closer, hanging on to every word. Even though they had heard many of these stories before, each reading brought new questions and discoveries. As Ayanna finished a tale about bravery and the importance of protecting loved ones, Emma spoke softly, almost whispering, "I like how you tell stories. It makes me feel safe." Lily nodded in agreement, adding, "And happy. I like being with you." Yana smiled, her eyes glistening slightly. She had grown to love these small declarations of trust and affection. She knew that the girls were opening their hearts in ways that required courage. "Thank you," she said gently. "Hearing that means a lot. I care for both of you very much, and I want to continue being here for you in every way I can." John felt a lump in his throat. Watching this exchange, he realized that their family was evolving. The girls' wish for a mother figure was no longer just a fantasy. It was becoming reality, one shared moment at a time. Yet he also understood that reaching this point had required patience and perseverance, and that the path ahead still held lessons to be learned. One evening, after a long day at school and work, John called the girls to the living room. "I have something to tell you," he said, his voice gentle but serious. Emma and Lily sat beside him, their eyes curious and expectant. "We've been through a lot together in the past weeks. We've laughed, learned, and faced challenges. And I've seen how much love you have for Yana and how much she cares for you, so I think it's time we all make a choice together." Emma's eyes widened. "A choice?" she asked. "Yes," John replied. "A choice to be a family. To trust each other, to support each other, and to share our lives. Yana, if you're ready, we want you to be a permanent part of our family, not just a friend, but someone we can all rely on and love." Yana took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly as she held the girls' small hands in hers. I've thought about this for a long time," she said. "Being part of a family is a responsibility I do not take lightly, but I see the love, patience, and courage in all of you. I want to accept this, to be part of your lives fully, and to help create a family where everyone feels safe, loved, and valued." Emma and Lily leaped up with excitement, hugging Yana tightly. Tears of joy streamed down their faces. John joined the embrace, feeling a wave of relief and happiness. The house, which had once felt quiet and empty, now resonated with laughter, warmth, and the unmistakable feeling of belonging. The following weeks were filled with small but meaningful moments that solidified their bond. Morning routines became collaborative efforts, with Ayana helping the girls get ready for school while John prepared breakfast. Bedtime stories became a cherished ritual, with Emma and Lily eagerly listening, asking questions, and sharing their own thoughts. Even simple chores transformed into opportunities for connection, teaching responsibility and teamwork while strengthening their sense of family. One weekend, they decided to celebrate with a small family picnic in the park. John packed sandwiches and drinks, while Ayana prepared a special fruit salad inspired by her cultural heritage. Emma and Lily helped set up blankets and games, their excitement contagious. As they sat together under the shade of a large tree, enjoying the meal and each other's company, John reflected on the journey they had taken. The challenges, the uncertainty, the doubts, they all seemed like distant memories now. What remained was love, trust, and a shared commitment to each other. During the picnic, Ayana took a moment to speak to the girls. "I want you both to know something important," she said. "Being a family is not always easy. There will be disagreements, mistakes, and moments of frustration. But if we care for each other, listen, and support one another, we can face anything together. Love grows stronger when we are patient and understanding." Emma nodded seriously. "We understand," she said. "We want to be a family and we'll do our best." Lily added, "Me too. I'll try hard to help and be kind." John felt immense pride. His daughters were learning some of life's most important lessons: compassion, patience, and resilience, while also experiencing the joy of being loved unconditionally. Yana, too, had grown into her role naturally, offering guidance without overpowering, nurturing without controlling, and loving without conditions. As the days passed, their home transformed into a place of harmony and warmth. The once empty living room was now filled with laughter, shared activities, and small displays of affection. The girls' schoolwork improved as they felt more confident and supported. John found that he could relax more, knowing that his daughters had a strong, positive influence in Ayanna. Even mundane routines, like grocery shopping or cooking, became opportunities for connection, conversation, and shared laughter. One particularly memorable evening, the family gathered around the fireplace. John lit a small fire, and Ayanna brought out a tray of hot cocoa. They shared stories from their day, laughed at small mishaps, and discussed plans for the weekend. At one point, Emma looked at Ayanna and said softly, "I'm really glad you're our mom. I didn't know what it would feel like, but now I know it feels like home." Lily chimed in, "Yes, I love being with you. I feel safe and happy." Ayanna's eyes glistened with tears. "And I feel the same way. You both have taught me so much about love, patience, and joy. I am grateful to be part of this family, and I promise to always be here for you." John watched this exchange, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. He realized that their journey had reached a beautiful turning point. The emotional struggles, challenges, and moments of doubt had been necessary. They had prepared each member of the family to embrace love fully, to understand the responsibilities of connection, and to appreciate the power of shared experiences. That night, after tucking the girls into bed, John felt a deep sense of peace. He knew that life would continue to present challenges, but he also knew that their family was strong enough to face them together. Love, patience, and understanding had created a bond that could withstand obstacles and nurture growth. Emma and Lily were thriving, their hearts full of hope and happiness, while Ayanna had embraced her role with dedication and affection. John, too, had learned that sometimes the most meaningful connections come from opening one's heart and allowing others to become part of it. As they drifted off to sleep, John reflected on the journey that had begun with a simple question: pick anything you want. What had started as a seemingly small offer had transformed into something extraordinary, a family formed not just by circumstance, but by choice, love, and the courage to embrace the unknown. The family's story was still unfolding, but the lessons learned and bonds formed in this chapter would guide them through the future. Trust had been built, love had been shared, and hope had been realized. Together, they had discovered that family is not only about presence, it is about connection, support, and the willingness to grow together. The stage was now set for Part 5, where their journey would find resolution. The family, strengthened by challenges, love, and understanding, would face the world as a united unit. Their story was a testament to the power of patience, the beauty of choice, and the extraordinary impact of allowing love to guide one's path. The months that followed were filled with warmth, laughter, and the gradual weaving together of their lives into a true, united family. John, Emma, Lily, and Ayanna had faced challenges, navigated uncertainties, and discovered the extraordinary strength that came from love, patience, and trust. What had once seemed like a simple wish, a request from two daughters for a mother figure, had blossomed into something far more profound. A family built on understanding, respect, and shared experiences. The household had changed in countless ways. Morning routines became lively and cooperative. Emma and Lily would help prepare breakfast. Ayanna would guide them gently, and John found himself enjoying the small, everyday moments that had once been stressful. Bedtime was no longer a quiet, lonely ritual. It was filled with stories, songs, and laughter. Even chores, once a source of tension, became opportunities for teamwork and shared accomplishment. Each day reinforced the bond that had formed among them. One Saturday morning, John decided it was time to celebrate the new life they had created together. He suggested a small family outing to the nearby park, a place where the girls had spent countless hours learning, playing, and exploring with Ayanna. The girls squealed with excitement, helping to pack snacks, blankets, and a few games for the day. Iana smiled, enjoying the simple joy radiating from the children, and John felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had led them here. At the park, they found a quiet spot under a large oak tree, spreading blankets and settling down for a picnic. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of grass and the sound of birds singing. John opened a thermos of hot chocolate, while Iana handed out fruit and sandwiches she had prepared. Emma and Lily ran ahead, chasing butterflies and laughing as they played tag. It was a perfect scene of contentment, a moment frozen in time where love and connection were palpable. As they gathered back on the blanket, Iana suggested a game. "Let's share one thing we're thankful for today," she said, smiling warmly. Emma was the first to speak. "I'm thankful for you, Iana," she said. "You make me feel safe, happy, and loved. You help me understand things and teach me new stories every day." Lily added eagerly, "I'm thankful too. You make everything fun, and I like that we can learn together and laugh together." "I love being part of our family." John felt a lump in his throat as he looked at them. "I'm thankful for both of you," he said softly. "You've taught me how strong love can be, and how family isn't just about who gives birth. It's about care, trust, and choosing to be there for each other every day. And I'm thankful for Iana, who has helped make our family complete." Iana's eyes glistened with tears as she squeezed their hands. "I'm thankful for all of you," she said. "You've welcomed me into your lives, and I've learned as much from you as you've learned from me. We've created something beautiful together, and I will always cherish it." After their heartfelt conversation, they spent the afternoon exploring the park, playing games and sharing small adventures. They climbed trees, collected leaves, and even made up their own stories about the animals they saw. Emma and Lily laughed uncontrollably. Iana joined in with gentle teasing and encouragement, and John watched, feeling a sense of completion he hadn't known was possible. This was more than just fun. It was a celebration of love, trust, and the bonds they had nurtured. As evening approached, they gathered around a small fire pit near the park, roasting marshmallows and sharing stories of the day. Iana told a story about her childhood in the Apache community, about family, courage, and the beauty of traditions. The girls listened with rapt attention, their eyes reflecting curiosity, respect, and wonder. John joined in, sharing his own stories from his childhood and lessons he had learned about love, patience, and resilience. In that moment, the past, present, and future felt connected, united by the invisible thread of family love. After returning home, the family continued their evening ritual. The girls changed into pajamas and climbed into bed, each holding a favorite stuffed animal. Iana and John sat beside them, reading a story aloud. Emma yawned, resting her head against Iana's shoulder, while Lily clutched her hand tightly. The room was warm, peaceful, and filled with a sense of belonging that had once seemed impossible. John whispered softly to Iana, "I can't believe how far we've come. It's amazing to see how much love can change everything." Iana smiled, her hand brushing against his. "It's not just love," she said. "It's patience, understanding, and the willingness to grow together. We've all worked for this, and it's only the beginning." Over the next few weeks, the family continued to flourish. They established small traditions that became unique to their household. Friday nights became movie nights with popcorn and blankets. Saturday mornings were for outdoor adventures or baking together. And Sunday afternoons were reserved for storytelling, reflection, and planning for the week ahead. These routines, though simple, provided a structure that nurtured their sense of unity and security. Emma and Lily grew more confident in school and social situations. They shared stories of their family life with friends, proud to talk about Iana as part of their household. John noticed that his daughters' personalities had blossomed even further. Emma's curiosity was sharper, Lily's imagination more vibrant, and both of them demonstrated an extraordinary capacity for empathy and understanding. Iana's presence had enriched their lives in countless ways, offering guidance, encouragement, and unconditional love. One evening, as they sat around the dinner table, Emma asked a question that had been on her mind for weeks. "Daddy," she said hesitantly, "do you think Mom would have liked Ayanna?" John paused, considering his words carefully. "I think she would," he replied. "She would have seen that Ayanna cares for you both, that she respects and loves you, and that she helps us all be the best we can be. Your mother would want us to be happy, and she would want us to embrace love wherever it appears." Emma nodded thoughtfully, her eyes soft. Lily, sensing the seriousness of the moment, added, "I think Mom would be proud too. I feel like our family is stronger now." John felt a surge of emotion. He realized that their journey had not only healed their hearts but had also honored the memory of the past. They had taken their grief, their longing, and their hopes, and transformed them into something living, breathing, and beautiful, a family bound by choice, love, and commitment. Gianna, watching the exchange, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had feared the responsibilities that came with being a mother figure, but she now understood that the greatest reward lay in seeing the children grow, thrive, and feel secure. Her love for Emma and Lily was not measured by biology. It was measured by presence, guidance, and devotion. She had become an integral part of their lives, and in doing so had found joy, purpose, and connection. As the story of their family continued to unfold, John often reflected on the moment that had started it all, the evening he had asked, "Pick anything you want." It had seemed like a simple offer, almost playful, but it had revealed the deepest desire of his daughters' hearts. They had wished not for material gifts, but for love, connection, and a sense of completeness. That wish had guided them through uncertainty, growth, and eventual joy, creating a family stronger than any one person could imagine. Years later, the memories of that journey remained vivid. Emma and Lily would recall the early days of meeting Ayanna, the small challenges they had faced, and the gradual building of trust and love. John would remember the anxiety, the hope, and the quiet moments of reflection that had guided his decisions. And Ayanna would treasure the first moments she realized she could embrace this family fully, knowing that the love she gave and received was genuine, mutual, and transformative. In time, their story became a living example of what family truly meant. It was not defined solely by blood, circumstance, or tradition. It was defined by choice, effort, and the willingness to nurture one another. Together, they had faced challenges, celebrated joys, and created a life filled with warmth, laughter, and unwavering support. Each member of the family had grown, learned, and discovered the extraordinary strength that comes from love shared freely and intentionally. The house that had once felt quiet and empty was now a place of life, energy, and connection. John, Emma, Lily, and Ayanna had learned that family could be chosen, built, and nurtured, and that the bonds they had formed were as strong as any natural tie. The journey had transformed them, leaving them resilient, compassionate, and deeply grateful for one another. And so, the family continued to live their lives together, strengthened by the lessons of patience, love, and understanding. Each day brought new experiences, shared laughter, and opportunities to support and guide one another. Their story, which had begun with a simple wish, had evolved into a testament of hope, love, and the extraordinary power of family. A family that chose each other, loved each other, and grew together in ways they had never imagined. In the end, what mattered most was not the challenges they faced, but how they faced them together. Love had been their guide, patience their companion, and trust their foundation. Emma and Lily had found the motherly love they had wished for. John had found peace and fulfillment in his children's happiness, and Ayanna had found a family she could cherish, nurture, and love. Together they had created a home filled with joy, warmth, and endless possibilities. A home where hearts were open, love was abundant, and family was defined by care, commitment, and choice.